We will move into best bets on day one. Liberty, I'll come to you first. If you were to give us a best bet for the Tuesday at Cheltenham Festival, where would you look?
My best bet for Tuesday would actually be Nessalam. I think he's a massive prize. He's up in trip. I think he wants to be up in trip. That's my bet of the day.
Nessalam in the plate, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, of Gary Moore's.
Gary Moore.
Sam, I'll come to you. Your best bet of day one?
I am going to go up against Liberty in that. Just looking away from kind of some of the favourites that I'd like to say. I'm quite interested in Oscar Elite. The trends say that you kind of want an 8-year-old with 10 stone something. And I think with him, the Reynoldstown was the route that Carrick Grambler took last time when he went on to win the race last year. Carrick Grambler unseated, but obviously Oscar Elite won. And I think considering the calibre of racing that he's been doing, and obviously without winning, Will and Lorcan will be able to comment on this better than me, but I feel like it could perhaps do his confidence good to have just got him head in front, had a nice jump round, it not been too hard work for him. So for me, it's Oscar Elite.
Yeah, he ran really well in the race 12 months ago, as well did Oscar Elite. Chris, best bet of day one, please.
Ultima, I'm with Liberty all the way. Gary Moore's absolutely flying at the minute, and Nessalam looks like he's been aimed at this race. He ran a really eye-catching race last time. He powered up the hill. I think they step up in triple, so you don't really have to worry about the Irish in this race. I can't remember the last time they won it. But yeah, Nessalam each way for me. I think he's stonking in value.
2 votes for Nessalam. Dawn?
Fred Winter, biker, Charles Burns. He
100%.
is an absolute dream of a horse. Le Havre. I went to Cheltenham Trials Day in January. I seen him and I went, you absolute gorgeous thing. How he went off at the price he did that day, he is just fantastic. His last run a couple of weeks ago against Sir Alan, I would disregard that. He made a little bit of a messy one. Philip Burns is back on him, taking 5 off. The day I see now, he's great flat form as well. And I always try go dig back to a little bit of flatty form. He was 5th to New London. He ran up against the likes of Franz Strauss, who's making new waves in Dubai. He is fantastic to me. From the minute I seen him, from the minute Charles brought him out, I said, that's my horse. Because I knew, or that's my arse, as Charles likes to say. I had a nasty feeling Nusret wasn't going to go to Cheltenham. So the minute my Nusret came out, I went, nah, biker all the way. Took him at 12-1 that day when I seen him for the Cheltenham Trials. And I am sitting very pretty. I am delighted and excited, and I have a lot of faith in biker.
Yeah, biker for the Boodles is currently about 13-2, 7-1. Yeah, 7-1 best price. I have to phrase this word or this sentence differently for jockeys, but Lorcan, you're most likely winner that isn't Constitution Hill on day one.
Into Overdrive. He's won 5 out of his last 6, and the last time he beat Sounds Russian, who's 25 for the Gold Cup. He's got a nice weight of 11.6. I think he's got a massive chance. And I'd like to see him go and win as well, because the Hamiltons bred him as well, and Jamie obviously rides him. So I think I'd like to see him go and win.
Yeah, and Will, your best bet for day one?
I think Epatante wins the mares. Like I say, she's been placed behind Constitution Hill a few times. I do think that Honeysuckle, unfortunately, has looked not the mare of old this season. And I think Epatante for me in the mares. And I give Ollie's horse an each way chance in the Supreme. I think I'd probably be shocked to see him come up the hill in front. But Chasing Fire, he's a really nice horse with a big future. And oh God, the old cliche is coming out now. But whatever he does over hurdles, he'll do more over a fence. But I do like him a lot, and I think he could nick a bit of each way in the spring.
Yeah, Ollie Murphy has done that in the past as well. I think he had Itchy Feet and might have been Thomas Darby, second and third in the Supreme a few years ago. We'll do naps and next best for day one. My nap, I think John Bond is an absolute certainty. I don't see him getting beaten whatsoever. I don't think there's anything near to his quality in the field. And I'm not having El Fabiolo at all. And I'm with Dawn with Biker. I think Biker's got all the credentials to go close in the Boodles. Liberty, I'll loop back to you. Your second preference for day one?
My second preference was actually Maurice Rock in the mares.
Yeah, that's how competitive the mares is. We've had 3 mentions already, and all of them are Cheltenham Festival winners in years gone by. Sam, second for you?
Just one that interested me at a bigger price. Samuel Spade for the Ben Paulin team. I think he's going there with such a strong hand this year. He's actually, I was looking through his entries, and he's got a surprisingly large amount of horses that have real active chances. And obviously he won last year with Global Citizen 2. But for me, I was really taken with the way Samuel Spade won his first race over hurdles at Kempton over Christmas. And I think with Bad being in the race, obviously making his debut for the yard with Rachel Blackmore on board, that's kind of where all the attention's been. But I wouldn't be surprised if Samuel Spade could get a place there, because, Luca Morgan's riding very, very well this season too. So even though he looks conventionally like the second string, I don't think you can ignore Samuel Spade.
Yeah,
Luca Morgan, sorry to interrupt, Luca Morgan has actually chose to ride that. He had
the choice to ride Bad.
He could ride Bad?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
I mean, I'm not in there every day, but that's what I've heard.
That's really interesting. Thank you.
There you go.
That is very interesting. That is very interesting. Bad, obviously, is 17-2. Rachel Blackmore is going to be on board Bad. Luca Morgan. Will Kennedy says anyway that he's chosen to ride Samuel Spade of the two. Currently 28-1 is Samuel Spade. Chris, your second preference for day one?
Yeah, I think Tamuris has been totally overlooked in the Supreme. He should love the ground and run on strongly, but it's not going to be him. Before the Dublin Racing Festival, I spoke to a few of the boys and girls in the Picks from the Paddock chat and suggested that Honeysuckle was 10-1 for the mares. I feel dirty saying it, but it was so obvious to me that she was going to get beaten by State Man. They were never going to retire her. She was 10-1. I thought it was buying money. If she turns up and she's anything like her best, she will destroy him.
Honeysuckle in the mares. Go on, Will.
100% agree. If she turns up and she's anything like her best, she wins it.
Well, she's going to be half of that at least, because she's going to get there.
But she just hasn't looked the same.
I agree.
She will, don't you worry.
There's something sinister about that being said in a deep Yorkshire accent. I promise you. Dawn, second preference for you?
Honeysuckle all the way. I have to stick with my girl. 16 wins. I don't know what this ad nauseum to the point, and it's no disrespect to the panel about, the mares is this and the mares is that and the mares is the other. There's the old saying of, you put yourself in the best company and your horse in the worst. Well, I'm not saying these mares are the worst. This is probably one of the best races we're going to see all week. But she is too good. She is too good not to win this race. What she's done, we cannot forget. And I make my speeches, my emotional speeches. Please, 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 with every part of me, as fantastic as the mares is, let it be Honey. And I have every faith and love towards Honey. 16 wins, guys. Come on, 16 wins. This should be a cakewalk for her, a honey walk.
Honeysuckle going in the mares. Liberty, I'll just dive back to you for a second. That line there, keep yourself in the best company, horses in the worst. Maurice Rock is going for the mares, which generally would be the worst company in a normal year. Not quite this year. She's chosen to come here, or connections have chosen to come here rather than the stayers.
No, exactly. I just think from a trainer's point of view, put your horse where it's going to win. So yeah, I'm totally with her on that.
Yeah, that's a line that's already been said by Lorcan today so far.
He obviously hears it a lot as well.
Lorcan, what's your second best bet of day one?
Well, I'm going to throw another one in from the mares hurdle. I'm going to say Love Envoy. Like, no,
You're not riding her, so you don't have to say that, all right?
yeah, I know, but seriously though, she's improved. She's improved from last year. She's a Cheltenham Festival winner, and like, she's. I think the second day of Sandown, she was very, very good, and the rain that keeps coming, it's only going to help her chances.
There's
If
more
I was
chance
having a
now
bet-
with Johnny Burke's old man riding her after he rode a winner today in Ireland than you. So you don't have. Yeah, I mean, stop. But
he looked good in the saddle for a 67-year-old.
Amazing.
I mean, I mean, no, I'm not gonna. I can't quite say he looks good, but
I said for a 67-year-old.
What an achievement for a 66-year-old man, and Johnny
66.
lived with me for 3 years, and he's a great guy. And look, I would love to see Love Envoy win for him because yeah, we're really great mates, but yeah, she might just come up short. But I hope you're right, Larkin. I have no feeling for I'm actually, to be fair, Epatante, Aidan, good mates, but I have no real feeling for Honeysuckle or Epatante. But I would love to see Love Envoy, but
Aidan can have the Arkle. Don't get greedy, Aidan. For what it's worth, I'd be agreeing with Lorcan in that. I'd be betting Love Envoy each way. She's done absolutely nothing wrong at all. But that is day one. We could have talked about that for about 4 hours. Instead, we're going to go for a quick break. We'll be talking about day 2 in just 1 minute's time. Talking of bets, we'll move on to day 2 best bets. I'll do this properly this time. I won't mess it up. Liberty, can I have your best and second best bet for day 2, please?
Yeah, so my best bet of day 2 is actually the champion bumper, Factophile. I think stays very well. I think the last day they didn't go quick enough for him. They'll go strong. They'll go a good gallop in the champion bumper, and the ground will suit him completely.
Was that your? Did you give 2 there, or did I?
No,
blank?
just one. And my second one, Saint Segal. He's probably been aimed at this race all season. Very good each way bet, I think.
Saint Segal. Then the second for Liberty, Sam, for yourself, the 2 for you.
So I'm just going to jump back to the cross-country chase for a little bit, if that's okay. I just think it is fascinating that Henry de Bromhead is going to might well run Gin on Lime as her only entry at the meeting. She's a 7-year-old mare, and you don't typically see a 7-year-old mare in a cross-country chase. Kind of like what you said, it's kind of got a different purpose now, I think, this race. And just on the note of Galvin, I think just the way he's not finished off his races the last twice, it would do him the world of good to have a change, I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if they popped some headgear on him. But I just think with Gin on Lime, you know, she obviously ran in that controversial race where My Drogo fell and then she also fell but got back up and carried on. She's quite a talented mare, and actually I thought her run last time in quite a valuable handicap was really good. So she's got an entry in the National. She's 66-1 at this point for the National, and I think it's interesting that she's got this entry in the cross country with an eye on Aintree. If she goes, she will probably be my second best bet for the day away from the big races. But I really like Encanto Bruno in the bumper. I was really taken by him in October when I was there, and he's kind of had perhaps a little bit of an unconventional route into the race, running. We haven't seen him since October, and then he'd won a bumper in July as well, and he's a 4-year-old point winner. So he's had a relatively large amount of experience, and I think it was always the plan for him not to run again until the bumper. I think John McConnell's a fabulous trainer. He knows how to pace his horses, and I just think Encanto Bruno is a really nice horse in the bumper that perhaps could slip under the radar with a lot of kind of not hype horses, but you know what I mean with the Mullins and Elliott camps.
Yeah, he's won a slightly bigger price in Encanto Bruno, who I'd say has gone under the radar, personally. Chris, 2 from you, please.
Yeah, I think Jerry Colomb is... I probably just butchered his name with my Yorkshire accent, but I can't...
Jerry Colomb.
I cannot see past him.
That's about as Yorkshire as I can possibly get.
But I just can't see past him. I think he'll love Cheltenham. I think everything's set up for him. The race will fall apart. I think he's a good bet. And unfortunately, with the weather, this is going to be repeated probably throughout, but I really fancied Camprond in the Coral Cup, and it's too late for me to back out. I've already bet him. I've bet a couple of others as well for any race. Historique Recons and San Salvador of Joseph O'Brien. I hope both of them don't get in that race, but I'm going to have to stay with Camprond. He's got some really strong form. He was impressive in Ireland last year when he won. It was on good ground. The time before that, he was fourth. I think he was in this race. It rained. It probably destroyed his chance, but he's well handicapped, and if he puts his best foot forward, I'm just hoping he gets away with it on the ground.
A couple for Chris. Dawn, I'll ask for one from you because I'm going to assume that Dad's Lad is one of them.
Dad's Lad is one because like the form just sets up beautifully. You've got your Merlin Giant form in there. The Merlin Giant form goes back to Wrexham, Asperti, which goes back to Champ Kylie, which leads me beautifully into my Ballymore baby, Champ Kylie. So Dad's Lad, Champ Kylie. Easy as you like. I won't waffle.
Dad's Lad and Champ Kylie. For Dawn, Lorcan, for yourself. Second muting of the night.
Sorry.
Try again.
Benson, if he runs in the Coral Cup, because he is in the boys' race as well. But since he's gone to Sandy Thompson's, he's been second 3 times and won twice, and he won at Kelso in the Moor Battle there. I thought he did it very well because they went very, very hard, and he did all his best work towards the finish. I think Cheltenham will suit him, and if he goes there, I think he's got a massive chance. And the other one is Final Orders in the Grand Annual. He's 5 from 6 over fences, and I think he's just got a massive chance in that.
15-2 for Final Orders. Before we get to Will's 2, I'll do mine. It's not the hottest day of betting for me of the week, maybe even the fourth of them, but I think Gaelic Warrior is so disrespected in the Ballymore. He was the shadow of Facile Vega when he was potentially lining up in a Supreme. He is coming here to the Ballymore, and now he's in the shadow of Impere Pass, who I'm not really fully signed up to. But if anyone tells you that he jumps right, they're wrong. He did it once last time around. Other than that, he jumped perfectly. Don't listen to any of that nonsense because I'm just not having it at all. When he's surrounded by horses, he is so much better than that. And I'll put up the real whacker as well in the Brown Advisory. But like I say, other than Gaelic Warrior, it's not the strongest of days for me. Will Kennedy, your 2 for Wednesday? Third muting. That'll be. I'm going to say that's like a swear jar thing now.
Yeah. My each way bets my 2 bets for the Wednesday are both each way bets. Thunder Rock for Ollie in the Brown Advisory. I think he's crying out for the step up in trip. He's been seeing out his races really well over 2.5. I think. Like I say, it's an each way bet. He'll need everything to go right to win the race, but I definitely can see him coming up the hill strongly and nicking a place. And Alexia Denuts, who was a very good second in the game spirit the last day, he runs in the Johnny Henderson for Joe Tizard and Brendan Powell, and I think he'd have to have an each way squeak.
Yeah, a couple there from Will for day 2. That is day 2 done. We are halfway through the festival right about now and halfway through our Cheltenham preview of 2023. So what we're going to do, we'll take a quick 5-minute ad break. We'll be back in about exactly 5 minutes to continue with day 3. We'll see you then. That is day 3 done, except for the fact that we have to hold everyone accountable for their 2 best bets of day 3. Sam, I'll go to you first.
So I am liking Mr. Incredible in the Kim Muir purely because we were stood by the rail watching them all come in after the classic chase, and I don't think I saw a jockey so happy all day as Brian Hayes was as he came in. He was absolutely over the moon, and the horse came second. So he ran on so well, and I think with this horse, there's just been a lot. I get the impression a lot's just had to come together for him. He was obviously brought down the time before when Brian Hayes was riding. He's only had 8 starts, 5 of which were for Henry Bromhead, 1 was in point, and then obviously there's been the 2 for Mullins. I just think he really, really ran on very well at Warwick. He's going to absolutely love the trip. So he's got I'm pretty sure he's got a national entry. So whether it's the Kinmure or the national, I think
I believe the
could be
national's the
a shout
long-term
with
plan.
both. Yeah. Well, I think judging by the performance at Warwick, you'd be able to fancy him for both races, to be fair. And then another Mullins horse, I Am Maximus, ex Nicky Henderson, similarly unexposed, only had 8 starts. He actually won at Cheltenham in a bumper for Henderson. He's had 3 runs this season, didn't really like cheap pieces in the middle time, but I think perhaps a little bit tentatively handled in the Grade 1 at Leopardstown, maybe. I just think his handicap mark's pretty good for the plate. I've had so much selections for this race. Nobody's actually been entered that I wanted to be entered. So I'm really, really hoping I Am Maximus has so many entries, and I really hope he ends up going to the plate.
Yeah, that's generally the plate every single year. You're entered in every other race, and then you go somewhere else. Dawn, I'll go to you next. Who do you like for your 2?
I'm going with the pretamps, the handicap king, the man who knows a handicap better than anyone in the world. And I've only started getting kind of all right with handicaps. Good time, Johnny, for Tony Martin. I think he is right thereabouts. He was 3rd in the pretemps qualifier at Christmas. He's been okay. He was 12th to Gaelic Warrior. Gary, that's his nickname, Gaelic Warrior, for any Gaelic Warrior fans. And he was also 3rd to Charles Burns' Run for Oscar. He's 16-1. I think he's your pretumps winner. And for a nice little each way play for the Ryanair, although I think Shishkin absolutely hacks up, I've gone with Fury Road. I thought he ran absolutely brilliant against Gallopin Deschamps in the Irish Gold Cup. He missed Cheltenham last year, but he was 3rd in Albert Bartlett to Monkfish. So I think he is a decent each way play if you want a little bit of money back. So Ryanair, Fury Road, and Good Time, Johnny, for a good time in the pretumps.
Chris, where are you looking on day 3?
Yeah, I quite like to win the per temps, which is the biggest problem for me. I think Mill Green is an outrageous price at 33. He's off his mark. He's not well handicapped or anything like that, but he's been there, seen it, done it. Maxim would be the other one. I just couldn't split them. So I went with Mighty Potter in the Turners, who he just like buying money to my eyes. And Lucia, I absolutely hate these sort of races, but Lucia should do a right number on that field in the Mares Novice Hurdle. I think she'll be another one who'll piss up.
Another one. There we go. I don't think Chris actually realises he's saying it as well. I think it's just the Yorkshire.
Good thing I've my filter on. You should hear my Irish cursing. It's even better.
I'll do my 2. My best bet was going to run in the Mares Novice, but unfortunately Night and Day was caught with a setback, and she won't go, but she'll be interesting whenever she does come out. I'd imagine maybe Punchestown for her. In the Potemps, can't believe I'm doing this, but at an each way price, I think Itchy Feet at 25-1 is huge. Last time around, Itchy Feet was a victim of Harry Skelton kicking on way too soon with Ashdale Bob.
Yeah.
No, Ashtown Lad.
He didn't have to go with him.
Well, yeah, I get that.
There was a massive, I got stuck into this a little bit. I'm working for Ollie, and you don't have to go with him. You think he's going too fast? Don't go with him.
Yeah, all jockeys are idiots anyway. So we all know that.
They make mistakes.
Yeah, they do. But I thought it was incredible that Itchy Feet managed to hang around for that long. So Itchy Feet for me in that, and in the Turners, I'll go for Appreciate It. I think Mighty Potter. I think you can get him. That's my thought anyway. As Chris shakes his head.
We saw our notes, Larkin.
Will, I'm hoping that you're going to tell me that Itchy Feet is a good bet in the Potemps. What are your 2?
Yeah, well, he's not one of my 2 actually. I'm appreciating the Turners for me, and I like Envoy Allen each way in the Ryanair, but Itchy Feet, yeah. Look, he's been cracking this season. I know he's a Grade 1 winner over fences, but I just don't think he's a natural chaser. Back over hurdles, he's looked more comfortable. Looks to be enjoying his racing more. Ollie has him in a really great place, and I wouldn't put you off in each way bet on him, no.
Yeah, he has run one at the festival in the past. Just the fences generally are a bit too much for him. Lorcan, what are your two?
Appreciate it. For what I said earlier, I think he's been crying out for the step up and trip.
Or what I said earlier, you mean?
And thanks for the help in the attempts. He won. He won obviously the qualifier the last day at Chepstow, and he had to win the way he did to get into the attempts. It's his second run after wind up. I think he's still got a lot to play with going in with his mark going into the attempts.
They are the selections for day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival. We only have one more day to go. We have 2 fancies for the Friday. Sam, if you haven't got Royal Pagaille in this now, I'm going to be fuming.
Well, I was told I couldn't go with the Gold Cup for 2.
Oh, so yeah, you couldn't, to be fair. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, we're not allowed to go in the championship races.
I have another horse I've convinced myself on is Rock My Way in the Albert Bartlett each way for Sid Hosey and Nick Schofield. I just saw has got the ride, which is very good. I was really taken by his win over 2 mile 4 here on the new course last time. He's going to absolutely love stepping up to 3 miles. It took him 3 tries to win a point, but I think this race just should be pretty well suited to him. Got the Cheltenham form. Seems like he's got a really lovely attitude. And then I was actually sent a picture of a little Cheltenham promo thing that was in the Daily Mail today, and it's Robbie Dunn with a racing post in his hand instead of a whip on a picture of Milkwood. I was like, oh, haven't heard of him for a while. So I've convinced myself that Milkwood is a good each way shot in the county. He was 3rd in 2021, which was when the picture was from. Obviously taking the mick out of the Jockey Club a little bit. But we won't go into the whip debate. Just leave that one alone. You can read my articles in Silks about that. He has won a Grade 2 handicap hurdle after that, 2nd in the Galway hurdle. So he's kept a good company. Had a bit of time off, didn't really run over the winter, I think, last year. And then I didn't think his run last time in handicap company was bad. He was off 12 stone and he was beating 5 3/4 lengths. And the four, how many? Where did he come? The 3 horses in front were all carrying well over a stone less. So I think he ran a pretty good race there, and he's only £1 higher than in the county. And I do think Neil Mulholland is particularly good at placing his horses.
Milkwood, then given a mention at least, and beaten by Robbie Dunn with a racing post, seemingly. Chris, for Friday.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to give 2 dodgy ones here.
The rest of them have been dodgy that you've given?
So this is going to get worse. But I think 3-card Bragg, he's entered in about 11 races. It's absolutely ridiculous how you can have so many entries at one meeting. But I think if he turns up in the Albert Bartlett, he just to me, he looks like a sleeper. He looks like he's going to be one that he's very well backed. I think he's got entries in handicaps and everything else. But I think the Albert Bartlett will be the way I'd go. And I could see him just banging out, making all the running. The other one would be San Salvador. Joseph O'Brien's. He won this race last year, the Martin Pipe with Banbridge, and he was quietly impressive the last day. He's going to prefer a amount in the weights, but I think there's more to come. And Joseph O'Brien, he's so masterful at placing his horses. Like I said, he's won this race before, and he's a very big price. I can't believe price he is. Obviously, he's entered in the Coral Cup and a couple of others amongst it, but if he turns up for the Martin Pipe, he'd be the one for me each way.
A couple then from Chris. Dawn, where are you looking to potentially recover, hopefully add to your funds from day 4?
This will be the recoup day, I'd say. I know I'm fully confident in everything that I say, but with the girls, lost him out for the Triumph. I just fell for Fairy House. She was so good. Christmas, so good. And you look, Gala Marcoux behind her, Newsret. We've seen what he did in the Ardennes. I'll forget about Leopardstown. I'll forgive her with that. I'm not saying Gala Marcoux is not good in her own right. She's really, really good. But Lossy Mouth over Blood Destiny. I know everybody is kind of going the Blood Destiny route now. No, you go back even to her Otai run. And the breeder calls her his life-changing horse. And I think she wins the Triumph Hurdle easily. And I think scriptwriter at an each-way play in this race. Forget about what happened the other day. I think he was sunk with weight in the mud. I think he'll come back. I think he's decent at 28. Very, very decent. But Lossy Mouth to win. And then in the county, I was a little bit miffed to see that my good old friend Pied Piper had come out of the champion hurdle. I had him at a whopping 66-1, where everybody told me I was completely and utterly bonkers. But I own that. I am completely and utterly bonkers. So he's in the county at 16-1. And after seeing the way ICO ran the other day, you've got that little bit of form there. You've got his form before Christmas. You've got last year. I don't want to hear about the Triumph Hurdle curse. I don't believe in it. I believe in good horses. So Lossy Mouth, Triumph Hurdle. If you want a bit of each way play for the Triumph, go with scriptwriter. He'll rewrite what happened before. And Pied Piper for the county. I think he's decent at 16-1. And he was bred by the Queen. So wouldn't it be really poignant for him to do something good?
Yeah, if you ask Davy Russell on the Cheltenham preview night, he'll tell you that good horses don't run in the Triumph Hurdle. That was a quote from a few years ago. I know.
Roll.
Yeah,
What
that
the
was
hell?
after Tiger Roll. That was after Tiger Roll as well. My Triumph Hurdle bet for this season, I spoke to Josh Moore at the start of the week saying, "Oh, where's Bo Zenith going to run? Is he going to go for the Triumph or is he going to Aintree?" And he's running at Stratford tomorrow on Monday. So that went well. He will go to Aintree, apparently. That is on the cards.
Keep yourself in the best company and your horses in the worst.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, the Moors have nailed that. They've absolutely nailed it. But yeah, I imagine it'll be about 1-5 tomorrow at Stratford. But I tell you, Lorcan, he's going to look good. What are your two for Friday?
Mine are Lossy Mouth as well. Like she's getting £7 off Blood Destiny. So I think Lossy Mouth for the Triumph, and in the county, if he gets in, Gin Coco for the boss.
He has literally.
I've only done two.
Yeah, but you've done me. They are mine. They
Oh,
are
yeah?
mine too.
Oh, you read me script, Will. You read me script.
I mean, in fairness, he has taken one
Yeah,
close to his heart.
it's 1-1 now.
Yeah, it's 1-1. I'll give him Jim Coco. Will, who are you going for?
Yeah, I'm the same. Lossy Mouth. I think you've got to forgive Leopardstown. It was a massive performance to get back in with a winning chance over the last hurdle. I thought at Leopardstown, and Gin Coco, a cracking run behind. I like to move it. Cheltenham the last day, came there looking like the winner, and I thought they'd gone very hard in front, and I thought Johnny was actually going to win, and then I like to move it, seen the trip out really, really well.
Do you think if the hurdles were in, Will?
What?
Do you think if the hurdles were in? I think if the hurdles were in, it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, possibly. But it was a really travel. Gin Coco traveled so well, and looked like the one that was going to pick. I like to move it up, but he just stayed really strongly. But why are you 36? So you need a few to come out, but I think you'll get in. Yeah, Gin Coco in the county, I think really great chance.
Yeah. I'm going to cheat because I really fancy one on the Friday, so I'm just going to go for one and just double your stake on it from what you get. Don't waste money on another selection. I was going to say, I think Filey Bay is so well handicapped in the county that what he did in the Betfair was a real eye-catching effort. I thought Nick Schofield was brilliant on Outcome Risk. You have to go towards the 4 in a Betfair hurdle to win it. You cannot come from the back. And Filey Bay wasn't, to be fair, was in midfield, which is far enough back. But the move that he made as he came out the back straight, and again, when he continued that going into the home straight, I think Filey Bay's only gone up £8 for that, which I say only. They were miles clear of the rest. I know he's 5 to 1 or so. I think Filey Bay is probably the best handicap bet of the week. So Filey Bay twice for me. I know it's a cop out, and I apologise for that. But Filey Bay for me. But let's go and hear from other people that have some sense about them, and probably won't mention Royal Pagaille. Richard Johnson and Harry Fry give us their best chances of the festival. Let's see what I have to say now.
My first tip for the Cheltenham Festival on Tuesday is John Bon in the Arkle. I've been really impressed with him. I thought he was fantastic at Sandown. I know everyone crabbed him after Warwick, but I think a real true run race will suit him really well. And I think the rain coming as well is definitely all in his favour. And I think his jumping holds him in really good stead. So fingers crossed for John Bon. My tip for Wednesday is Tyne Hill and the Brown Advisory. I think he was really, really good at Kempton on Boxing Day. A true run, fast run race will really suit him. I think his jumping is getting better and better. It's a very big shame that Tom O'Brien's not going to be able to ride him, but Michal knows him really well. I think Philip has kept him for this race, so he's fresh and well. And for me, he's got a great chance. And I think he's overpriced, and he's probably a very, very good each way bet, but I think he'll nearly win. My tip for Thursday is Lucia in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle of Nicky Henderson's. She was very, very impressive at Exeter last time in a listed race. She never came off the bridle. I think she's getting better as she goes. Her bumper form is very, very strong. And again, I think the rain is a benefit. My tip for the Friday is Embassy Garden in the Outbarlet. 3-mile novice hurdle. You really need a horse that stays. This horse is a 7-year-old. He improved last time, stepping up to 3 miles. Willie Mullins, I'm sure, will have had a great week so far already. But this horse looks ideal for this race.
So my 4 tips for the Cheltenham Festival on day 1. Well, I can't choose anyone but Love Envoy, where we hope that we'll get some luck with the weather and some rain before she runs in the Mayor's Hurdle, having obviously won the Mayor's Novice Hurdle last year. So she's in good form, and we're looking forward to her taking a chance in what looks like being a hugely competitive renewal of the race. On the Wednesday, day 2, I think Hermes Allen will be very hard to beat in the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. He won the Challow Hurdle very well, and that form is working out particularly well. On the Thursday, I think if Nicky Henderson decides to run Lucia in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle, she's looked by far and away the best mare in the novice division. And yes, just a question whether he takes his chance against the Geldings in the Supreme earlier in the week. But I think if she goes that route for the mares, then she'll be very hard to beat indeed. And then finally on day 4, Statler is my pick in the Gold Cup each way. He's a half-brother to our own Mai Tai. He won the National Hunt Chase at the festival last year. He's going to be doing all his best work late on, and they definitely have to stay to win the Gold Cup. And I think he'll give any backers a real run for their money.